I think it's been an interesting and a reflective sort of a take. I think we're fast becoming a nation of cinema goers where the film needing to become an event is becoming very important. It needs to start reflecting in our choice of subjects. It needs to start reflecting in our marketing and release strategies. And I think that is one of my most constructive and positive takeaways from Khel Khel Mein. For it to be out of the best reviewed film possibly this year, was very, very satisfying. However, its slow start at the box office, its reception of love, which is coming almost in pockets, sometimes from a senior of the industry, whose work I've always looked up to, sometimes from a contemporary filmmaker, sometimes from another actor from another industry altogether, sending me appreciation and love has sort of made me reflect on how important it is now becoming from a ticket buyer's perspective to not merely stop at making a great film. You have to make sure that the film's communication outside of the film communication, outside of the content within the film's communication itself needs to be looked out for, needs to be presented in a way in which our audiences find it interesting much before its release in order for them to gear up to want to watch the film in the cinemas. I think the big learning for me is, as a filmmaker, that we ought to respect the fact that in a country which is 140 crores strong, which is usually the population of 13, 14 healthily populated countries put together, the big learning has been that there is a cross-section of our audience that exists in various pockets of India, Bharat, the hinterland, the affluent, and all of these build up to make your theatrical audience, So the big learning has been to understand that unmistakably now 80% of our ticket buyers for cinema releases have come between the age of 15 and 30. 80%. And it is them that need to feel, even from a subject selection point of view, they need to find identification and their own representation and individuality in the film that you pick to take to the cinemas. So that has been one of the nicest sort of most positive learnings from me selecting Khel Khel Mein vis-a-vis a subject choice. Also, see, very interestingly, if you see, there are certain, besides the comedy, besides the entertainment, besides the jokes, Khel Khel Mein raises some pertinent questions about relationships. Now, if you are saying that the largest cross-section of ticket buying audience is between 15 and 30, then you have to go back to the drawing board while you're selecting a subject the next time and think that the weight of relationships as it is between a 15 to 30-year-old's mind needs to find its representation in your films. Not overall. I'm not making this as a blanket statement. But if you are making a festival release film and going to the cinemas, beating your chest on a festive sort of a weekend, then this thing becomes important. Your choice of subject, what is the content you're putting out for that particular celebratory week, That has been also a very interesting learning and a takeaway. So I see the hidden compliment in it, first of all. The second thing I feel is that when a release date gets decided, 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5 minds come together, the principal distributor of the film, the principal star in the film, the director of the film, the producer of the film, the studio involved. All of them come together to want to take a decision of a release weekend. Now, that is governed by several factors. It is governed by the fact that, what kind of outings has the principal star had in the past? Should he get enough room to be able to perform at the box office? Is it a holiday enough weekend where everybody will possibly get the opportunity? And needless to say, the unpredictability of the fact of how much of your share is your competitor going to take away, So, whereas, in most cases, a director would turn around and say, God willing, because Amar Kaushik is a dear friend and somebody whose work I love, I will say, God forbid, Stree had turned out to be not such a good film, then the same release date argument would not have held. Then everyone would have said masterstroke. So, I feel that these are hindsight contemplations. I feel that you cannot keep a good film down. It will find its place in people's memories, in people's hearts, surely on the basis of how it has entertained them. First of all, between Stree and Khel Khel Mein, both were not supposed to release 15th August. A film called Pushpa was supposed to release 15th August. Pushpa pushed ahead. Earlier, Stree was supposed to be 30th August and Khel Khel Mein was supposed to be 6th September. Now, with Pushpa pushing ahead, Hindi cinema as where we stand today, and we all want to do numbers and we all want to now start punching our weight because it has been a while that Hindi cinema has, needed this. And I'm so thrilled for Stree 2, you have no idea. Not only because a friend has made it, because it's Hindi cinema. I want Hindi cinema to do earth-shattering numbers, and I'm not myopic enough or immature enough to say that, oh, because it's not my film, I wish it had done less. No. I want every Hindi film to do these kind of numbers. So at that point in time, coming back to your question, when Pushpa moved, at first Khel Khel Mein said we are coming 15th August. About 24 hours later, Stree 2 said we are also coming 15th August. Now what happens is, you also get into a bit of you land up finding that now we've announced it, now they've also announced it, now should we move, should we not move, so you get into a bit of a muddle out there. And then eventually, like I said, there are enough voices of reason in a room that turn around and say, no, but there are 5 holidays in the week, don't worry about it, and so on and so forth. So you arrive at a decision which is largely not the output of one mind. It is several stakeholders in the process that, put their thought across. So I would like to move away from the conversation by saying that this, Hindi का एक बड़ा मशहूर phrase है कि मेरी मासी की मूछें होती तो वो मामा होता. अब ये यूं होता तो क्या होता, ये वाला जो डिस्कशन है ना, आई फील दैट उससे कई गुना ज़्यादा कंस्ट्रक्टिव इज द थॉट दैट व्हाट डू यू टेक अवे फ्रॉम दैट, हाउ डू यू गेट बेटर, हाउ यू कम बैक हार्डर, हाउ you constructively use the data available in order to provide the audience with more. I have an interesting enough take on this. I feel that stardom, as we perceived it once, is not how the current generation perceives it. I feel that we used to look at our stars with an aspirational value in our eyes and mind. So when I grew up being an Aamir Khan fan, and I grew up being an Akshay Kumar fan, I had removed the idea of judgment from my mind when their film would be coming up, because it was an event of celebration for me. The current generation views its stars, let's just put it that way, from a lens of a certain amount of equality. The judgment is a little quicker, and there is most certainly no aspirational value attached to it. See, cinema is merely a reflection of society, Now, in society itself, hero worship is fast diminishing. We have opinions about the person who is running the country. We have opinions about who is captaining the cricket side. Hence, why will we not have opinions about what a star should do and what a star should not do? So, in this atmosphere, relevance to what we hold, and when I say we, I mean the younger generation, relevance to what we hold in a film is superseding a certain star's presence in the film, you know, and that is actually a very delightful thing, because 30-40 years we have merely said that films are a director's medium. I think slowly our younger generation is going to take us there, where it will become a director's medium. See, the point is, stars have been, it's a double-edged sword, you know. I feel let's slightly expand on the conversation a little bit more. See, why are we not taking the onus? When I say we, I mean producers, directors. We should take the onus. There was a time when names that I have huge respect for, Prakash Mehra, Manmohan Desai, Vijay Anand, Nasir Hussain, Feroz Khan, Manoj Kumar, when they launched a film, they believed that they can put their last shirt into this film. That's how much they believe in the concept of the film. That is how much they believe in the story of the film, that sir, सवाल ही नहीं चलेगी. With that, they used to put their money where their mouth is. Conviction. Largely what has happened with the advent of corporates, what has happened largely? Today a producer first worries about satellite kitne mein bikega, OTT kitne mein bikega. The minute they find that the digital or the satellite price of the film will be so and so, correct? They feel that it's a safe film to make. So the last shirt attitude is not from the cinema audience. The last shirt attitude has escaped them. It has come from a place of, is my film safe on satellite and digital sale value or not? Now, where is this satellite and digital sale value coming from? It is coming from that star presence in the film, because that particular digital platform or that particular satellite channel is saying, isko le aoge to itna de denge, usko le aoge to utna de denge. If we go back to a time where subject will only govern what the film's final outcome can be or could be or should be, we will go back to a time where we will get plots and stories all over the place. I'll jog your memory back to a film called Kamchor. See, Rakesh Roshan and his courage of conviction to write a story about a lazy man. Indian cinema का hero worship की आप बात कर रहे हैं, झूठ बोल के एक औरत से शादी कर रहा है, so that he can, you know, achieve his father-in-law's wealth sitting at home. This guts, where does it come from? It comes from wanting to believe in the plot, that they have not seen anything like that. If I make them see something like that, they will. Now imagine if Rakesh ji at that point in time turns around and worries about satellite से कितना पैसा आएगा, digital से कितना पैसा आएगा, Kamchor will not be made. You know, Qurbani, where one of the principal protagonists is a thief, the other principal protagonist is a cabaret dancer. Khan Saab's courage of conviction to say that the mindset has reached somewhere where the larger emotion of sacrifice between these three principal characters will supersede everything else. They have not seen a triangle like that before. I want to give them something new. That courage of conviction will keep coming when producers make every film like their last shirt depends on it. What I have gotten to know of him in the last 3 years, let's start from there. See, I see him as a very perceptive and a very intelligent man, you know. It's not like what is being spoken or what is being discussed is not falling on his ears, you know. He's a very intelligent, very perceptive man. That be said, when we are creative people, you know, there is a weird greed of wanting to be accepted in everything that we do that seeps into our mind. And now I'm saying this on behalf of all creative people. मुदस्सर अजीज़ की कॉमेडी चलने लगी. मुदस्सर अजीज़ को लगता है कि ये मैं लव स्टोरी भी बहुत अच्छी बना सकता हूँ, ये मैं लव स्टोरी बनाता हूँ, एक्शन भी मैं कर सकता हूँ बहुत अच्छा, मैं एक एक्शन फिल्म करता हूँ. There resides a greed in each one of us as creative individuals. We cannot be flawed for that greed. you know. We will all do our journeys to come back to where we are and what we are good at and so on and so forth. But we can't take that away from a creative person. Now my observation, much like your observation about him, my observation, till before Khel Khel Mein. And that is why I took Khel Khel Mein to him, because I also wanted him to do a comedy. Imagine I had reached a point where I said that, कितना वक्त हो गया सर आप comedy नहीं कर रहे हो, ऐसे कैसे चलेगा, kind of thing. Now, when one views it, sometimes what happens is that an actor, having done a lot in their life, may feel the need at that point in time, or may feel, and greed is also not a bad word, may feel the greed creatively, you know, to say that maybe I can do a period piece, maybe I can do a cop who's chasing a serial killer, maybe I can do so on and so forth. So sometimes that makes you embark on a journey, you know. And like I said, he's a very intelligent, very perceptive man. You take that journey and then you may realize that अरे साला ये तो अपना होम विकेट तो कुछ और है, अपने को वो होम विकेट पे दो चार छक्के मारने की ज़रूरत है. And I feel that him and me and our discussions of comedy have been so enriching, that I don't see any good reason why he will not follow up Khel Khel Mein with a few more comedies now.